Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be for your pre-match pump-ups. And look, it's just the two of us today, Chang. We've got injuries. Jimbo's pulled out with man flu. Deji is stuck in traffic, so it's just thee and me today, Chang. And amazingly, we've coordinated shows. I'm not sure how that happened, but we have. How are you, Chang?
First and foremost, Miss Kate, thank you for having me on this pre-match pump-up. It's been a while since I was last year on the We Are Tottenham TV pre-match pump-up. And to be very honest with you, I actually put on the wrong jersey. I was supposed to put on the jersey because I saw that clip. I saw that particular clip on the Spurs social media of Lucas Moura's final competitive game for us, where he scored that goal, the last goal of the match, when we won away at Ellen Road against Leeds United. I was supposed to put that on, but I somehow or other, this is why I don't dress in the dark. This is why you should never ever dress in the dark, and you sort of pick out what feels like that away kit or the third kit or whatever kit that was. But this was by a stroke of luck. This was never supposed to happen, but it's good to see us having the same kits on. And the last time we did something similar was, I believe, the Europa League final. But that was scripted. That really was scripted. I put on the same top as you did for that Europa League final pre-match pump-up. Cannot wait for kickoff to get underway. And without further ado, it's back to you as always, Miss Kate.
Thank you. I actually picked the wrong top. I was meant to put the black one on because it's the away shirt, but this one popped out. So maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign. But welcome to everyone watching. Please do smash a like. It does help the channel, and it lets Ben and Sim know that we're doing a good job. Only one. I mean, this is the stat that everyone's focusing on today, Chang. Spurs have not won a game for the international break since October 2023 when they beat Luton Town, who have since been relegated twice. Is today the day we break that curse? So, and what is it about this international break where we just can't seem to win a game?
I honestly think that I'm not going to say anything negative or anything untoward towards any of our players, but I did touch on this a bit yesterday when we did our weekend preview over on the Perfect Match. And there is this symptom, or rather there is this sort of preventative measure the individual players take if they know that they are international bound, if they are already booked on their respective flights to their international camps to meet up with their international colleagues, and rather than risk going all out and getting unnecessary injuries that might hinder their appearances for their national team, in which there will be players who will take their national pride over their club loyalties. And I think that's why we have this sort of thing going on. The simplest and most obvious choice, or rather the most obvious example, would be Christian Romero. If you remember the last World Cup, in which he and Messi won. So the days leading up towards it, he was always missing. He was either not in training, not in the matchday squad, not even with the traveling team. And lo and behold, he's on the first flight. He's the first to the training ground. He's the most active, I would say, among all the Argentinian defenders. And I wouldn't be surprised if this year, or rather this season in particular, with the World Cup looming, we will see something similar, not just this particular international break, but in the months leading up to the World Cup. So I really do hope that Thomas Frank would do a Thomas Tuchel. If you're having about an errors or ways and you are not up to scratch, then you will get the Bellingham treatment. Put it this way. So absolutely hoping that the lads really do turn up today. We really need some sort of boost, but let's just wait and see. I believe the lineups will be available in. Oh, I think it should be available right now. I think it is. Yeah, I'm just going to check on the lineups. And having said that, it's back to you, Miss Kate.
The lineups are not showing on mine yet, not on the official Tottenham website. Yeah, look, these curses have got to be broken. We have won 4 of our last 5 meetings against Leeds, with only defeat coming at Ellen Road in May 2021. So the stats are good. However, Leeds are one of these teams that I think when you go to their home ground, a lot like Newcastle, a lot like Sunderland, it's a very intimidating atmosphere, Ellen Road. Had we have been playing at home, I would be really confident with this game, but I'm erring with a bit of caution because they're a good side at home. And as someone very rightly said in the comments, tough game today. We should not make that mistake that it's going to be easy. They're big in size, so set pieces are key for them. Very physical side. I think they've got the tallest player in the league. Yeah, look, and to be fair, their form so far hasn't been terrible. They haven't been. I mean, their home form's been extraordinary. They've not been beaten at home in a year or just over a year. So their home form is absolutely extraordinary. But luckily for Spurs, our away form is better than our home form. So it's going to be an interesting match. The teams will be coming out probably within the next 4 minutes or so. I did put out my predicted 11, which I did Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogi, Paulinho, Gray, Simons, Kudus, Odegaard, Richarlison. I'm not sure what you think, Chang. I'm thinking he might give Gray a try in midfield. You know, he's going to want to play against his old side. We've learned that Paulinho and Bentancur is a bit defensive. I've got a feeling they give Gray a chance. What's your thought?
If anything, I think the first name that comes to mind as far as players who should be starting for us away on our travels, Jet Spence comes to mind. I think that he will be perfect for this game, having got his second England international call-up. And yeah, we really need that defensive solidity at the back. And nothing against Pedro Porro, mind. I believe they are all good players in their own right, but I would very rather much have Spence as a right back ahead of Porro. The rest, I think, is pretty much status quo, except maybe Bentancur. Bentancur could be the other one, the other difference maker. Let's just see whether his contract extension is justified. And he obviously gave away that needless penalty away on our travels. So maybe there is time for him to make up for that. But I wouldn't be surprised, really, if we ring the changes so soon after returning from Norway. I am still expecting to see Richarlison at some point. Hopefully, he starts ahead of Tell because we really need that aerial threat up front. Again, nothing against Tell. I believe he will grow into a player to be reckoned with in due time. But this is the one time where we really need that experience, and experience counts, especially on our travels when your home crowd is hostile. You need someone with the coolness, calmness, and composure to hold up play as a centre forward, and yeah, I believe Richarlison could be that player for us today. But yeah, other than that, I think you have it pretty much spot on as far as the lineups is concerned. My last and final thought on that expected 11 is that if Simons were to play, he has to play as a number 10. I
Oh,
cannot, for the life of me, work out why he still is stuck out on the left. But maybe, just maybe, he might he might maybe reinvent himself in due time if we still are in need of that left winger, the natural Sunny replacement. But we'll just wait and see. Yeah, that's a pretty much a good lineup there. So hopefully, lineups will be available in about a minute's time at about 11:15. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
thank you. I agree. If Simmons playing on the wing, I can't see that happening. Do you think there's an argument for Sarr to start? I think the other day, obviously the performances haven't been great. Let's be fair. Against Bodo Glimt, the performance was very ugh. And then the Wolves game, the performance was a bit blech. So the performances haven't been great, but I do think we might have missed a bit of Sarr's speed and physicality. I don't know what you think. I mean, there is a possibility he could be picked today to play in the midfield. We have got options there.
Well, again, this all comes down to how we set up in midfield and who will be the number 10. If we have Simons in the number 10, then yes, we can rotate between Bentancur, Pepe Matassar, and possibly Perlinia as our defensive midfielders, just behind Simons. If we do see maybe Bergvall playing as the number 10 and Simons on the left, then that would mean that we would look towards solidifying that midfield and go with Perlinia and Bentancur as our starting central midfielders. I think it all depends on where Simons ends up today. And I think it's going to be also very interesting to see how we deal with substitutions or rather rotations so soon after returning from Norway. I would actually go with, again, this one just boils down to experience, but given a choice, I think Ben Sankur and Polinia might be the preferred choice in center midfield. I know I would certainly like some invigorated youth with fresh legs there in midfield to help power us forward. But yeah, again, the hostile crowd, Ellen Road, and what with the early kickoff, uh, I mean, I would play it safe. I would make sure that we avoid defeat. If that sounds a bit too pessimistic, but we need to end this this run of games unbeaten on a high. And yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised really if Thomas Frank sets us up to avoid defeat rather than go for the jugular. There we go. There's
Yeah.
the
So the
so
lineup
yeah.
is out, guys, and we've got Vicario in goal. I'm just going to read them as they come because they do it in this stupid number order, which is so frustrating. But we've got Vicario in goal, Paulinia, Xavi, Tell starts above Richarlison today. Interesting. Udogi, Romero, Kudus, Porro, Odegaard, Bentancur, and Van de Ven. On the subs bench, we've got Kinski, Danso, Richarlison, Gray, Bergvall, Johnson, Spence, Sarr, and Ben Davis, after making the leadership group, makes it onto the bench today. What's your first thoughts, Mr. Chang, on that? I mean, Tell starting over Richie, I suppose we should go there first.
I mean, again, this goes down to Thomas Frank. Maybe he did see something, or rather, Tell himself has been excelling in training to warrant his start over Richarlison. But again, that's midfield. I mean, again, there are lots of permutations to this, and seeing. Oh wait, come on. Okay, I just noticed something. I think Javi might be in the 10 because we
Yeah,
also
he's
have
in the
Oda
10.
Beer.
Yeah, he's in the 10.
So yeah, okay. So with that's okay. Now that changes the complexion completely for me, as far as this starting lineup is concerned. Because if we have Oda Beer on the left and possibly Kudus on the right, that it would make sense for Tel and Simons to link up. So I think this might be one of the rare few times in which we see a front trio of Frenchmen. If you
Yeah,
realize we have a front trio of Frenchmen from left to right in the form of Odebeer, Tel, and Kudus. So that's our French trio, our three musketeers. I'm going to just call them the three musketeers
I like
for
it.
today to spearhead our attack. So the three musketeers spearheading the attack with D'Artagnan, Simons behind him, and behind Tel, or rather, sorry, behind Javi, Perlinia, and Bentancur. So yeah, Bentancur justifying his contract extension, partnering Perlinia. I remember the other day, I distinctively recall you saying somewhere that having Perlinia and Bentancur at home might be a bit of a
Defensive choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yes, a bit too defensive at home. But in this case, maybe we need that foil at the back to ensure that Javi Simons and Co are able to roam forward at will. And other than that, I think this should look like a. I hope it's a team that can bring home the 3 points. But if they can't get the victory, then I will settle for the point. But interesting to note as well that in the subs, let's see now. So okay, Denso is there. That's good to see, as is Archie Gray. And yeah, I think it's pretty much expected. The only maybe odd one out would be Davis, but if he has been excelling in training, that it would be good to have him as an option if we really need that experience to run down the clock. Otherwise, I think it's a very good team, a very good squad put out, and yeah, fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed, we bring home the 3 points because we really need a win on top of those two draws back to back, both in the league and in the Europa League. So in the Champions League. So yes, all the best, lads, and come on, you Spurs. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah. Kudus is actually Ghanaian. Ghanaian, is it?
Oh, not French. Okay, thank
But
you
I
for
don't know if
correcting
he's
me.
I don't know if he's French Ghanaian, because when you hear him talk, he does sound French. But for the purpose of the fact we're calling them the Three Musketeers, I'm going to take it anyway. Obviously, Leeds, they play a very high line, very similar to Ange, although better in my opinion. He likes to play attacking, high energy, possession based style of play. Does Daniel Farker, aims to dominate the ball, build up from the back, press high, and win it back quickly. He normally plays a 4-2-3-1 formation with high fullbacks, versatile wingers. However, this leaves him vulnerable to counter attacks. This high defensive line, as we as Tottenham fans can account for, can leave you exposed to quick counterattacks if the pressing or positioning is not executed perfectly. I think this is where we need to expose Leeds today if we're going to get any joy. We've got the speed of Porro down the wing. They do like the one thing I say about Leeds, they're entertaining to watch. They do play a high line, but the one thing I think they struggle with is they haven't got that cutting edge of a real top striker to finish those chances off. So I think Tottenham have got to sit back, soak up the pressure, take it in, and then try and get them on the counter attack. Is that how you see it, Chang? Do you think it's going to be like a counter attack style of play for us today?
I think it's more of a build up from the back and control the tempo, control the flow of the game, and work the goal from open play rather than try to force any sort of counter attack or even set piece goals. But again, this goes back to that midfield pairing of Perlinia and Bentancur at the back. That in itself tells me that we are going to try and just soak up whatever they can try and throw at us and build our own attacking play. And I mean, there is that option if we do have to break at pace. Kudus and Odebeer should be a handful for the Leeds home team. And I'm trying to look up to see if the Leeds squad is out yet so that I can pretty
Yeah.
much gauge how we are trying to to counteract their build-up play at home?
It is out. This is
There
the
it
Leeds
is.
squad. We've got Darlow in goal. Then we've got Bogle, Goodmanson, Rodon, obviously ex-Spurs, Struijk, Ampadu, Longstaff, Stack, Aronson, Okafor, and Calvert-Lewin. What do you make of that, Chang?
Calvert-Lewin, that's the one player we were talking about yesterday on the weekend preview over on the Perfect Match, and I think he's the one to look out for. You never ever write anyone off, regardless of their form or how they have been performing of late. For me, I think if we can get past Rodon, he would be the one. He would be the one that Tel and possibly Odobia and Kudus has to beat to have any sort of sight at goal. But otherwise, I think that looks like a very strong home team Leeds United have put up. But it's one that I think we should be able to go toe to toe with and not get bullied at Ellen Road. I am hoping that we do not have to resort to any further last minute equalizers if it does come to a nail biting finish. I would rather be going into the final few minutes of injury time, either level on points or possibly just a hit on goal difference by the end of the 90. But again, I really do hope that we have enough left in the tank to see out this match. And all the best to those players, especially Poro. Poro, let me see now. Yep. Poro down that right. I really hope he gets his defensive mindset in, because I think he would be the weak link that Leeds United are going to try to attack down their left. And that's how I think Calvert-Lewin is getting most of the service today, or rather this morning. So let's just wait and see how that battle down the right unfolds. But if worse comes to worse, Poro isn't handling it well, then we still have the likes of Jet Spence to call off the bench to shore up that right-hand wing. And absolutely looking forward to this match now that I've seen the lineups from our starting 11. Now is the time for those players to stand up and be counted for and to see what they are made up of, especially on our travels. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Exactly, Chang. That was the exact same team that Leeds put out last week, and I think they got a draw against Bournemouth. I was just trying to have a quick look. Iron Man, I saw this comment: sit back against a promoted team. What you've got to remember is the Ellen Road's probably one of the most intimidating grounds to go to. It is up there with St James's Park, and this is a team that every point they're going to be fighting for. We can't go there all guns blazing. We don't have the front line to just go and try and score. We've got to be careful how we do this. So I think we soak up the pressure and get them on the counter attack. There is a lot of people, not really in this chat per se, but a lot of people on WhatsApp in the groups that I'm in saying that we've got a toothless front three. Yes, we are wearing the same kit, internet guy. It was completely unplanned. We both turned up with the same kit on. That we've got a toothless front three, and it's hard to disagree with that. Tel hasn't set the world on fire as of yet. Odobert, look, he needs to have a run of games. I've said it. I don't think we can judge him till he has a proper run of games. Simmons is finding his feet. Kudus he scored a brilliant goal the other day, but it was offside. But eventually, you kind of feel like something's going to gel. Javi's only been here for a matter of a few games. Big up, Jess. Good luck to Leeds today. Our friend who's a big Leeds fan, big up to you. Good luck, but I hope that we win. Mr. Chen, a lot of people like my husband, for instance, who's obviously not here. Now, I'm not wearing shorts. I'm wearing pajama bottoms, going to be honest. Think it's going to be a 3-0 win, Jimbo. I can't see us, A, keeping a clean sheet at Ellen Road, and B, I'm just not convinced that we can score 3 goals at the minute with that lineup. I don't know if I'm being, not doing them any justice. What's your thoughts?
If we are to even get any sort of creativity to even get one of those goals, I think it all boils down to how Simons performs in the 10. We have been crying out for Simons in the 10 for so long now that he has finally got his chance and his start, I think that is more important than anything. Him coming off the bench, him starting, especially starting at number 10, I think that will be the game changer for us. If anything, let's hope that this match is the one match that would springboard Simons and his Spurs career. And for me, I couldn't care less how many we score today. I really, really hope that either one of Kudus or Simons gets their first Spurs goal in a Spurs jersey in any sort of competitive match. We have been saying this for so long. This is already match week 7. It's match week 7, and we are still awaiting both Simons and Kudus to get their first ever Spurs goals for us. So hopefully that won't be too long away. I really do hope we get to see it before the end of the 90 minutes. And anything else other than a goal for Simons and Kudus, I think would be a big, big bonus for us. Especially for Tel. I mean, he really needs a goal. Believe me when I say this, he really needs a goal, that guy, just to give him some sort of confidence booster going to the international break. Yeah, I also can see, who knows, we might even see another Polinia goal. He has been coming up with those of late, either against Wolverhampton Wanderers at home or away at Manchester City. That's always good to see a goal from midfield, and let's hope that Polinia has that in him. Or if not, then worst comes to worst, there's always the defense to call upon, be it Poro from the right or Udogi on the left. They have it in themselves to roam down those flanks and latch onto one of those side rule passes that Johnson will gobble up with ease. And yeah, looking forward to this match really. Absolutely looking forward to it. We are an hour away, everybody. We are exactly an hour away from kickoff. Cannot wait to get underway, but still lots to get into in the final half hour of our show. Let's just see what the chat have to say with regards to how they feel we would get the most joy going forward in this game and creating chances on our own away on our travels. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, look, I agree with MD in a way. With Bergvall instead of Bentancur, I feel I would feel more confident offensively. I just got a feeling that he'd try and soak up the pressure in the first half and maybe change it in the second half if it isn't working. But Paddy says that Frank has said that he wants Bentancur to progress the ball more too. I think they are working on it. Big up DJ Samuel, haven't seen you for a while. I hope you are well. I've made it perfectly clear that Spence has become one of my favourite players, although his form has dipped a little bit since his first England call-out. Big up Chris Peters. Do you think, I mean, for me, it's sensible starting Spence on the bench because you've got the option if, hopefully not, but if Udogi or Porro gets injured or tired or it's not working, you can bring Spence on and he can play both sides. Do you think that's why Frank's made the choice of not starting Spence, Chang?
There are multiple reasons as to why maybe Spence is kept on the bench rather than starting from the get-go. You did make a perfectly good a good guess as to why maybe he would be the preferred sort of super sub to come off the bench to either play at left back or right back because he's very proficient in either wing. But what I would say about Spence on the bench rather than starting, especially on our travels away at Ellen Road, I think, and this could be just my own gut feeling, but Thomas Frank, I think, is going to try to keep it simple at the back. Try not, so to speak, not try to overcomplicate things, especially when we have our backs to the wall and we just want to go into the half with a clean sheet or even with the scores tight and not have to chase the game in the second half. I honestly think that having him come off the bench maybe for the second half, if we really need to get a goal to maybe just to draw level or to even find a winner, then if there was if you look at the bench that we have, if there is a difference maker for me, I think Spence would be that difference maker coming off the bench, maybe apart from Richarlison. And for me, yeah, having Spence to come off the bench would be such a great option for us. He might even play further upfield. You never know if he does come off the bench to play at left midfield or right midfield. I think that Thomas Frank is just playing it safe, much like him fielding Bentancur and Polinia from the get-go. I think Spence on the bench to come off as our super sub in the second half, or sort of like a companion or a compatriot to Johnson. If we were to find ourselves behind, then yeah, that would be my guess as to why he's on the bench. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the bench, what options we have, that bench really gives me confidence that we have that strength in that. But we still have to keep up that level of intensity, be it going forward or just soaking up the pressure. So yeah, absolutely hoping that if he does come off the bench for us, Jet Spence, that he would then also justify his second only England call-up, which I think is maybe also a smart move on Thomas Frank's judgment, in which he feels that maybe, just maybe, Jet Spence also would be on the side of caution when it comes to maybe over exerting himself, or rather avoiding any sort of injuries, like what I mentioned at the beginning of the show. So this could also be playing on his mind. So yeah, again, there are lots of thoughts into this, but I think this would be the right choice, honestly, to have him on the bench rather than starting. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, I completely agree. Steve, we have got up front, we've got Tell as the striker today. We've got Odegaard and Kudus up front. Tommy says, Spence is good, but we need a left foot who can go to the line and make a 45-degree pass back into the field. We should not play too many crosses. Crosses should be low and hard. Do you know what? Jimbo always says to me, why don't these players cross it low and hard? That's what you're always taught. It's like a key thing you're taught. I can't comment because I've never played football in my life. Bryden says, people want Tell to be better, but complain when he gets a chance to play. The kid's 20 years old and hasn't even spent a full year in the Prem, hoping he has a good go of it just to silence the haters. I think the majority of Spurs fans would love to see Tell really perform today, maybe get a goal or an assist or both, and because I think he does look very short of confidence. He is a young guy, and I think a goal would make the world of difference to him. I will say, someone did make the point, I'm actually in Lincoln and the weather here is atrocious. We've got very, very strong winds. It's been raining, and I think it's even worse the more north you go. So I'm expecting the weather to be really bad in Leeds, which could play a part. Obviously, the ball's going to be going all over the place. So, but yeah, the weather's horrendous here. So I don't envy them, although they do earn a lot of money. So what can I say? Vicario has been shaky lately. Look, we seem to keep having this debate, Mr. Chang. Do you see that in any world where Kinski displaces Vicario, or do you think Frank just continues to keep Vicario as number one and works with him?
I mean, honestly, for me, I think Vicario is now treading a very fine line between being dropped or staying on as our number one. I think that he will still be a good keeper for us, but his handling, his aerial dominance when it comes to set pieces, and above all, his distribution, I think I've lost count in midweek against Bordeaux, where the number of stray passes he's had under absolutely no pressure whatsoever to launch the ball up straight from defense, or to even start a counter attack shortly after having possession. I think he needs to work on his distribution, if anything. That, I think, would go a long way to justifying why he's a starter over Kinski. But other than that, I think in terms of his goalkeeping ability, he is a good shot stopper. Don't get me wrong, and he has saved us on a couple of occasions, especially in the past two seasons under big inch. But now under Thomas Frank, especially where uh, competition for places is heating up, and Kinski proving that he is a goalkeeper to be reckoned with, especially with that fantastic save he made at home against Doncaster Rovers. That was really good to keep the clean sheet for us in our third round of the League Cup. But I will still stick with Vicario for now until such time where I think that, yeah, his confidence is gone, or he needs a run of games on the bench to sort of get his head straight, get his mojo back. If he finds his confidence is not there, or not what once was, all I would say is that whatever damage has been done, whatever sort of I wouldn't call it wrong coaching. It's sort of like righting the wrongs the previous regime, the coaching regime had when it comes to set piece defending and command of the box when it comes to set pieces. I think he has to work on that, especially now that the previous regime is gone. So let's just hope that he gets these mistakes out of his way, out of his head, and I think, yeah, even for someone like Vicario, I think the best is yet to come from him. But in order for that to happen, I think we ourselves as fans, we have to give him our support, even if he's shaky or if he's having a bad game or a bad day. Rather than slag him off, we should be cheering him on. We should be encouraging him to do better and not get on his back, even over the slightest mistakes, and just nitpick at even the smallest of errors. So hopefully we will see the best of Vicario after the international break. But for today and today only, I would very, very much love to see him get a clean sheet. For me, I think the one way to shut the haters up is to get a clean sheet. And if we can get that today, that would really do his confidence a world of good. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, look, I agree. I love Vicario, but I think he's a work in progress. Darren, you got no chance of seeing Scarlett today. He's not even on the bench. We've got Tell starting and Richarlison on the bench. I do expect, I hope and I expect there to be changes in the second half if it's not working. I do feel, I'm not criticising Thomas Frank and suggesting by any means that I know better than him, but I do feel against Bodo he was a little bit late making the substitutions, because when he actually did bring on the big guns, the game changed. And I think had he done it earlier, we may have gone on to win that game. But look, it'll be interesting to see. On paper, that team should be good enough to hold Leeds. I'm still a little bit concerned about where the creativity is going to come from. Simons really needs to step up. I can see there's a player in there, but he looks a little bit lightweight. But hopefully, he can do something today. I think if he could link up with Tell and both of to get the assist for Tell's goal, that would be absolutely perfect for me, because I think they both could do with a confidence booster. Although I think Simons' confidence in his own ability, but Tell definitely needs to have a booster. Ardial says, I'm not insinuating Vicario will lose his place, but against Brighton and Wolves, something's going on with him. I think his decision making is very suspect. He should catch the ball at times and he decides to parry it away and puts the defence under pressure. I think that's my biggest concern with Vicario. But as I say, I think he's still a bit of a work in progress. We've got 230 odd in the house. We've only got 63 likes. If we could get that up to 100, it would be amazing. Please do smash the like button. And let us know if you're not watching from the UK. Let us know where you're watching from. It's always good to know where you're coming from. Udogie been good since he's come back in. He got a lot of criticism. I can't remember what game it was. And I thought he had a really good game. But it's funny how different people see different things. Have you been impressed with Udogie since he's come back from injury, Chang?
Yes, I have, and I think he has to. I think he knows. If anyone knows, I think he knows that his threat is under. I mean, his place in that starting 11 is under threat. If Jet Spence is able to step up and do a better job than him, either going forward or defensively, I think that Jets Spence would be one of those players who would keep both Porro and Udogie on their toes. But as far as Udogie is concerned, I think this is the one season that he really, really wants to impress. If he were to stand any sort of chance to make it into the Italian World Cup squad next summer, for me, I think this would be a good chance for him to show that he actually is going to be one of those bright prospects for not only for Italy but also for Spurs in this new look Spurs team under Thomas Frank. And I think the one thing Udogie needs now is maybe an assist or two if you are going to be bombing forward. I mean, I would really love to see anyone get an assist. I couldn't care less if it is Porro or Spence or Bentancur or even Polinia. But for him, what you mentioned earlier, that slide rule cross, or rather the slide rule pass, sort of just across the goal mouth for the on-rushing attacker to just tap it in at the far post, which is what Johnson is good at. That is also something that I think he has it in him to overlap and go around his marker to whip it in where Johnson will be waiting on the right. So that I think would be something that he himself should be working on. And if he can get that right, then yeah, I don't see why he shouldn't be in a starting lineup. He has proven that he's good defensively, and he has shown that he has a goal and assist in him as well. So hopefully that we have yet to see the best of Udogie as well, because we have to remember he still is quite young. Around the same age as what Bergvall, around the same age as Sar, I think Sar or what's his name, Odebeer. So I think the best is yet to come from Udogie. And if Thomas Frank can get the best out of him, well, we have something to really look forward to as far as attacking wingbacks are concerned. If we have, say, Porro bombing down the right and Udogie bombing down the left, that would be, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think that the partnership of Danny Rose and Kyle Walker would go a long way to, I mean, you just think about it. I mean, I saw the expression on your face, and I can just only imagine. I can just only imagine the expression of many of our listeners right now when I just mentioned Danny Rose and Kyle Walker. Now, that was a proper pairing of wingbacks that we had. So it would go a long way. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really do hope that we do see such a wingback partnership at Spurs not long from now, if that ever were to happen. But yeah, if it has to start somewhere, let it start from someone like Udogie. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, when you look at it's like we was chatting the other day about Van der Ven and Romero and saying about Toby and Jan. What a team we had back then. It baffles me we never managed to win anything. Good morning, Brian Daigle, who is in the UK at the minute. I'm not sure for how much longer, but he will be joining Benison for the watch-along, which is around about 12:15 that will start. So we finish in 15 minutes. You get 15 minutes to grab a brew or a beer if you're that way inclined before the watch along. So that will be good today. I am feeling a little bit nervous about the game. I'm not gonna fib. I think it's important that I think it's important that our attacking players step up today. Kudus has been brilliant so far since we brought him in, but I think we need to get some output from him today. Tell, please let Tell have a decent game, please. We need something from Tell, Xavi Simons and Odebert. I think those key four, if our attackers and sort of creative players, even Porro and Udogie bombing forward, like you said, I think if they can step up today, there's no reason why we can't win this game. I still have this nagging desire in my head where I would love to see Porro on the wing, maybe just for one game, just to see how he would do if we had Spence in Porro's position and put Porro on the wing, because the crosses he puts in are amazing and his defensive play is up and down. I mean, am I bonkers, Chang, for saying that?
No, you have every right to want that, because we want the best going forward. And for me, if Porro is better going forward than he is defending, well, there's always that old saying, the best form of defense is offense. And if we can outscore the opposition, as what we used to do, maybe under a Martinho or a Harry Redknapp, or even under good old Pochettino, if it's better going forward, then I say I'm all for it. And if we ever do, maybe say find a backup wing back to help out with the defensive rotations, then maybe, just maybe, we might even see a right wing consisting of Jet Spence at right back or right wing back, and Pedro Porro at right midfield or right wing. So that should be something to experiment on. But I think I honestly think that for now, for the time being, Porro should just do what Porro does best, which is just to soak up the pressure down the right and not get overwhelmed by whoever he's going to be having to face down that opposition left wing. And if let's say we really are chasing a goal and we have that option of pushing Porro further up, then yes, that is actually an even better option to have than say bringing on Johnson, who still doesn't have the confidence yet to try and take on his man down that right wing, and possibly we might have to rely on pinpoint crosses rather than dribbles into the box, which is what Porro is better at compared to Johnson. So yeah, that in itself is actually a good option to have as we approach the final half hour of any game. So yeah, I think it's all down to Porro now. It will be down to Porro and possibly even our coaching staff to see what works best for Porro and what works best for the squad on the overall,
Yeah.
not just for Porro. I think that would be the more pressing matter. Having
Yeah,
said
I
that,
mean,
back to you, Ms. Kate.
yeah, absolutely. And Denzel, well, don't think for a minute I would take Kudos out to put Porro there. But if for whatever reason Kudus wasn't available or had to go off, or there was a rotation, it's just something I'd like to see. I would have liked to have seen it in pre-season just to see how it would work. Zane says, want to see a Tell goal and a Kudus goal, don't we all? Big up, Mr. Agambar. Hope you're well, Chris. Stephen Lynn says, Tell better score tonight. He's getting boring. Harsh. Look, this is what I mean. As Tottenham fans, we all want Tell to do well, and I think I completely agree. I think if he could get a goal, it would shoot his confidence up. It's just when you're struggling, nothing goes your way. Someone says we should bring in Johnson in a number 9. Look, we all know he could play the centre forward or a number 9 for Nottingham Forest. I'd be absolutely open to seeing him come on and see how he does. Alumna says Tell will shine soon. Wish Kudus could dazzle his way to a goal. Look, you never know what's going to happen tonight. Ardul says, big up Kate and Jang. Really enjoyed today's discussion. Thank you very much. The lineup's good, looking good for this game. I do hope so. But it is coming to that time of the show where we're wanting to know what you guys in the chat think the score's going to be and who you think is going to score for Spurs. Has the lineup changed your mind about what you think is going to happen? I am going to put it out there now. I thought I had it in my head we'd lose 2-1 and got severely told off by Jimbo, as everyone who knows Jimbo can imagine. So I have gone to err on the side of caution and gone for a 2-2 draw today. But I'm hoping that I'm completely wrong and that we win this. I don't care if it's 1-0. I don't care if it's 5-4. Just we need to win this today. We need to stop this run of draws and scraping back draws. I think we need to get the 3 points today. Chris Peters has come in with Kudus and Xavi 2-1. I'm going to go for a Porro and Romero goal today, I think. Kurt Smith said 3-0 Tottenham, 4-1 to us. Leeds to score, but Spurs prevail 3-2. Tell and Kudus 2-1. 1-0 says Henry, Xavi screamer. Oh, things you love to see. 4-0 Joe Rodon hat-trick. Oh, no. I hope that means for us. Tob says 1-0 Tottenham, an own goal. Mika says 2-1 Spurs. Joey Boyce says 2-1 to Spurs. Jester J says 3-2. Everybody's expecting a very tight game. I'm glad I've bitten my nails because I wouldn't be able to go this game without watching them. 2-1 Tel and Javi. I'm loving the people's confidence in Tel and Javi getting goals today. Mr. Chang, what's your feelings? What do you think the score is going to be and who's going to score the goals?
I'm still very much sticking to my 2-1 away win prediction, and seeing that Javi is starting at the number 10 as opposed to the left wing, that actually gives me confidence that today might just be the day he backs his first ever goal or even two in Lily White. And yeah, again, I really do hope that Mohamed Kudus gets his first competitive goal for us sooner rather than later. And the sooner the better, as they always say. So hopefully that day is today. So if I had to pick goal scorers, yeah, I want both Javi Simons and Kudus to get their first ever Spurs goals in competitive matches for us. And although I think that might be a bit far-fetched or even a bit too much to ask, but I really couldn't care less who else scores for us. For me, even just getting a goal would be a good thing to get on our travels. That I think is something that we have to work on, scoring away on our travels. And if the Manchester City game has proven anything, I honestly think that we just need to have that confidence in front of goal. The build up, don't get me wrong, I think the build up and the creativity is there. It's just the finishing that needs that finishing touch for me. And I mean, I would never ever rule out Johnson coming off the bench to go, just nick one again at the far post, and then we'll all be singing on Monday, Johnson again, ole ole. How we would love that. But I mean, for all I care, for all you know, Archie Gray back at his old stomping ground, Leeds United. He might even come off the bench with a last minute winner. I mean, that would be poetic justice in a way, or even a Joe Rodon own goal. That also would be poetic justice. But honestly, in this case, I really couldn't care less where the goals come. I just hope we get at the very least a goal. And if we can even keep a clean sheet, I think that will be the icing on the cake. But yeah, absolutely looking for the game now. Enjoy the match, everybody. Hope you all have a very, very good weekend ahead, regardless of the full-time score. And come on, you Spurs. Having said that, back to you, Miss Kate.
Exactly. I love Internet Guy. Joe Rodon will score an own goal, rip off his shirt to reveal a Spurs shirt underneath. Absolutely love that. Big up chance. Brennan in the back post. Paul says you're spot on. It's the finishing. Imagine Kudus on the left, Dominic up front, Kulu on the right, Simmons at number 10. Yeah, look, I'm so excited to get our people back that are injured, like Kulu, like Solanke. I'm just desperate to see Solanke under this guy. Jimbo's got man flu, and Deji was due, but he got stuck in traffic. So it's just the two of us. Chance says we win 1-0, Archie Gray to score. Tell to show his real ability today. Let's hope so, Rosh. Thanks for being with us today. Please hit the like button, subscribe to this great channel. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Chris. Chang, what's up going on with you in the land of the streaming world of YouTube?
So yesterday, during the course of the show, El Sal Cocorel himself, Senor Jose Garcia, has all but confirmed that we are due episode 20 of Jose and Chang in 24 hours time at noon tomorrow over at El Sal Cocorel. And if nothing else, I might just maybe pop up for a late night post-match review with Spurs diehards. Absolutely looking forward to showing up again with both Mr. Ian Meth and Mr. Adrian Stroker and anyone else who's currently together with them over on Spurs diehards. But other than that, I think I might take some time off to reflect on my life and what's going on behind the scenes for me, especially at work. with that close shave I had yesterday. I'm not going to mention it here. I mean, just the amount of messages that I had immediately after I mentioned that yesterday. Wow. Thank you very much, everyone who has reached out to me to give me words of encouragement to not let that one little mishap dampen my moods and my spirits for the weekend. Absolutely looking forward to this match and to our next gathering, or rather our next show together over on the Perfect Match. I'm not sure when it's going to be now that the international break is coming up, but hopefully it won't be too long. And absolutely looking forward to this match. Thank you again very, very much, everybody, for showing up. Let's just get this away match out of the way and do enjoy the game regardless of the result. Thank you again, Miss Kate, for having me back on this pre-match pump up. It's always a privilege to be with you, either here on the on We Are Tottenham TV or over in the Perfect Match. Couldn't have hoped to have met a better YouTube personality like you, to have sort of nurtured me and shown me the ropes, especially when it comes to doing this YouTubing. And come on, you Spurs! Thank you again, everybody.
Chang, thank you for joining me. Otherwise, I'd have been going solo, and that would have been funny because I'd have had to sit here for an hour talking to myself. So it's always a pleasure to stream with you, Chang. Thank you very much. Please make sure you do go over to Spurs Diehards and subscribe. Jimbo, he's always spot on. He did predict 3-0. This made me laugh. When I see Chang, I remember him saying breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, and then realised it wasn't really Fabrizio Romano's actual account. Yes, Chang, you will be forever known for that moment. Let's end the international bad form. Exactly. If you want to come over to me and Jimbo as well, obviously international break, but we will be doing a mental health show next week. We like to do a catch up just to make sure everyone's all right. It's a safe space where you can come and have a chat. And all sorts of shows will be coming up. But yeah, Chang, make sure you look after yourself. The internet cannot afford to lose Mr. Chang. There's no one like you. So thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you to everybody who's watched the show, who's smashed the like, who's commented, because we couldn't do it without you. Stay where you are. You'll be redirected to the watch along, which starts in about 14 minutes time. Enjoy the match. Cheer on the boys. And as always, guys, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs!